How far would you go to become someone else? Ooh, not looking forward to this one. Number 28 on the list is the talented Mr. Ripley. Welcome to Long Play Video. Yeah, here we are down in the shop for number 28 on my list of top 100. I think that's like 73 episodes down. Still don't have a good way to start the pod, which is almost impressive in itself.
It's coming. It's coming. By the time we get to number one, it'll be honed down. We'll get rid of those other 100 episodes, and we'll start
Let's
again.
go back and edit them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, at number 28 then is the talented Mr. Ripley. Kev, what do you know about this film? So I believe it's one that you haven't seen, although obviously both times maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't.
Yeah, no, this is definitely I definitely haven't seen. This isn't I can't remember it. No, it never really appealed to me, this movie. I think in my mind it always looked like a bit of a strange romance film. Never really.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked. Yeah, I don't know. And I guess you've got really good actors in it, but yeah, it just never appealed to me. Never considered watching it.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're gonna have to sell this into me.
Well, I mean, I won't even bother selling into you, but yeah, let's talk about the film. So yeah, came out in the US and was released in 1999. Obviously, one of the best movie years of all time. Came out here in 2000, just as the kind of Oscars were coming out. Yeah, a stellar cast, I think it's fair to say. Back in 2000, but Matt Damon, Jude Law, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Cate Blanchett, Gwyneth Paltrow, kind of all of them in quite early in their careers, really. Like Gwyneth has just won the Oscar for Best Actress for Shakespeare in Love, which obviously is the biggest travesty going. Kind of sweep that under the rug.
It should have been Iron Man 2.
Yeah, Iron Man 3 is the best one.
Yeah, true.
Matt Damon's just done Good Will Hunting, a couple of other things. Philip Seymour Hoffman's just starting to kind of get going. Obviously, he started quite early in Scent of a Woman and stuff as well. But yeah, just a stellar cast. And funnily enough, I was thinking about it as well. Out of those, Matt Damon, Jude Law, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Cate Blanchett, who would you say had the best career, do you think?
Whoa, that is a good question.
While you're thinking about it, I'll run you through the Oscars. So
which we know mean nothing, but go on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a good barometer of success and meaning nothing. At the bottom of the pile, Jude Law with 2 nominations for acting.
Yeah.
Next up, Matt Damon with 3 acting nominations, 1 nomination for producing Manchester by the Sea, and 1 win for writing. Then Gwyneth Paltrow, 1 win for acting, as we just said. Philip Seymour Hoffman, 4 nominations, 1 win. Cate Blanchett, 8 nominations, 1 win. Feels like she should have won. She should have won more.
Wow. Well, yeah, I was going to say probably Cate Blanchett. Like Matt Damon was going really well, and then I don't know what happened to him. Like, it's like he just got bored, and he just stopped, didn't he? And then he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to be in like small movies and do little." I mean, it might have been that he wanted to spend more time with his family, right? Completely understandable. So I don't know. I think he felt like he was going along and then dropped off. Jude Law, I thought he should have been great. Like, I feel like he's coming back into his older self now. He's done his mid-range, his peak, and I feel like. Like he's done like some of the Dumbledore. Oh, you won't have seen him, of course. Like the adult Harry Potter type ones. Can't remember what it's called. Like the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
So he's coming back into it himself. I guess, yeah. If it was Seymour Hoffman, obviously, yeah, maybe he would have been the winner, but obviously cut short.
Greatest actor of
Gwyneth.
his generation. Do you think Philip
Well,
Seymour
you can say
Hoffman?
that, can't you? I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
think so.
was. I
Like,
mean, he was phenomenal in
yeah,
most of the films he was in. Gwyneth, I guess she's consistent. I wouldn't say she was the best, but yeah, I think you'd have to go with Kate, wouldn't you? Is that who would
well,
you say? It
well, it was.
obviously might be slightly, because she's Australian as well, and that, like me, so
trying to curry favor with the locals. Yeah,
yeah.
I think, yeah, it's got to be between Kate Blanchett and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I did, but I think with
Mm,
both of them, and as proved in this film as well, just whenever they're on
yeah.
screen, they just kind of steal
Yeah.
scenes
Okay.
like left, right, and center.
Mm,
There's just something about them that does, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, especially in this, yeah, in this movie, is, yeah, he's not in a lot. He's not like the main character or anything like that, but just,
mm,
yeah, just completely steals
just
any scene that he's in.
owns it.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so super hot cast. The director is Anthony Minghella, who actually had just won, well, the Oscar for Best Film and Best Director for English Patient, which I think, like,
Ah,
yeah, I think
wow.
English Patient
Remember
in, I
that
mean,
film?
we got, yeah, nine Oscars. I mean, it did
It
pretty
was
well.
like 3.5 hours long. I probably couldn't watch it now. I remember at the time thinking it was great, but now the world's changed my mind and everything needs to happen
The
quicker.
problem is it's also like four different movies, isn't it? All kind of rolled into one.
Mm,
So yeah, I never
yeah,
particularly liked it, but obviously, like, yeah, top of his game as well. And arguably, like,
yeah.
this again for cinematography and everything is, yeah, it's just amazing. So yeah, all really came together. But actually at the time didn't really sort of, yeah, do, I think, what people thought it would. Now I think
Yeah.
there's material in it that's difficult to sell to a
Mm.
mainstream audience. Yeah,
Well,
no,
what's it
and
actually
just,
about then?
well,
Because like
I don't want to give too many spoilers actually. If you don't know anything about this movie, I kind of want you to just
this makes
go
me
in blind.
I feel like this makes me feel that you're worried that I'm going to hate it and you don't want me to destroy it in part one. You're waiting for part two. There's a slim chance he might like it. Let's wait for part two.
I just think it'll be funnier if you go in not knowing anything about it. So
Yeah. Okay.
obviously
I
there's
literally
now
know nothing about it. Yeah.
there's like a series as well as a Netflix
Is
series
there?
covering the same thing, and there's like three
Hmm.
sequels as well. I mean, funnily enough, so this
No.
is actually, so it's based on a book, and this
Yeah.
and the book had actually already been adapted once.
Hmm.
So this is, yeah, sort of like a remake of the original film as well.
Yeah.
And the book was, yeah, the book was sort of what the character and all of everything is. Patricia Highsmith, who's
Yeah.
quite a famous writer, wrote Strangers on a Train for Hitchcock as well. So um,
So,
yeah,
and then she wrote three more books and there's three more sequels in
no,
like films.
I think there's, it's a good question actually, how many books there are.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's
It's
just
like
kind of
everything's screamed
taking.
from a book these days, isn't it? I mean, like nothing is original. It's all been like as per this book.
She wrote a series of them, but yeah, I think just like
Mm.
the character, like Tom Ripley as a character.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, and he spans across. So I'm
yeah,
thinking like he's similar to Jack Reacher, is what I'm currently got in my mind. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Good.
kind
Yeah.
of similar.
Yeah. The Tom Cruise Jack Reacher. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been adapted lots of times. There's lots of different people. Some of it's Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, some of it's Matt Damon.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were five original novels,
Yeah. Okay.
and this is
So
like, yeah, the first one.
So then take us back. Let's wander back towards 1999, 2000 Andy. He's
Yeah.
walking around in his, I imagine in his shell suit still at this point. And
A shirt with a t-shirt underneath, I think was
yeah.
the order of the day.
Oh, yeah. That's probably more accurate. Yeah.
Unbuttoned shirt
Yeah.
over a t-shirt.
So yeah, when do you remember when you first saw it? Or, yeah,
Yeah, I
was
do.
it
Yeah,
like, was it love at first
one
sight?
and one and only time. I've not seen it.
No.
I've not seen it since. Not even particularly looking
Wow.
forward to watching it this time, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow. This comes back. This goes back to the dedication and thought and lengthy process that was building this list.
No. Remember the film well. Yeah, definitely on the list for a reason. Not just some vague half excuse. But yeah, I went to see. I watched this. Yeah, I watched this with my university friends. We were, living in a house at the time. And honestly, it just freaked me out for ages. It just really freaked me out. Like, just
wow.
So how do I do this?
I really don't know anything about
spoilers
and this film.
Guys,
Yeah,
see,
I mean, I wouldn't
great.
worry. Yeah. I always thought it was like
You're
some
expecting
kind of,
some sort of rom-com, aren't you? And
Yeah.
it's just I really want you to just watch it with that expectation.
Maybe I've got this. Was there a Leo film that was set on like an island? What was that film?
The Beach, the island.
Is he actually in a film called The Beach? That would be amazing.
Yeah, The Beach. Yeah, it's the. Do you remember The Beach? Yeah, you remember it was again based on a book. It was huge back in the day.
When did that come out?
In Thailand, The Beach.
Yeah, when did that come out? 2000. You know what? I think these two are like. I must have seen an advert for one of them and thought they both look the same. I'm not watching either of them. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, again, completely different. I mean, when do we not talk about completely different films in these film reviews? But no, it's pretty different.
Sorry. So go on. So take us back.
Take us back. So yeah, like, so the first kind of half of the film is so sort of evocative of just like freedom and like coolness. Obviously the cast is just amazingly good looking, and it's Italy, and it's like holidays, and it's no responsibilities, and it's just freedom to do whatever you want and be whoever you want, and like just be super cool,
just like your life now, right?
Exactly like my life, probably more like my life in 2000, to be fair. And then the second half of the film is kind of like, you've got freedom and there's no one looking out for you, and you can do whatever you want, but that means that everyone else can do whatever they want. And it's fair to say that it takes a little bit of a darker turn. And I just remember literally this film, I would say, like haunted me for a while. It's just so memorable. There was so many scenes that I was just thinking about, and also I would say that this is probably one of the first times where the score really stuck with me as well. Like, it's a good soundtrack and there's a lot of good songs on it, but like the use of the score as well, like definitely pay attention and sort of notice the way that the music in the background interacts with like action in the foreground and stuff, because I think that
like again of, like NSYNC and stuff like that coming through,
all the classics. It's set in the 50s, just so you know that. Another one that's set in the 50s. Just remember for weeks afterwards I was still thinking about this film and just thinking about it, and sort of again like questioning what, which bits, like thinking it through and asking myself questions and stuff. And it was just one of those films that just really stuck with me, but it's a thriller. It is quite unnerving and it is quite uncomfortable. And I just remember that kind of again, it's not horror, but again it's not a million miles away from it. It's very sort of Hitchcock, very tense, very like thriller. If you're imagining a rom-com, it is not that. So
well, we'll see. The time will tell. Time will tell. I kind of want to sort of goggle box this. I kind of want you to film you watching it, and I want to watch you watching this film.
And just rewatching.
Yeah.
Second
How
time,
traumatic
second
is it
time
going to
only.
be for you?
It has
Yeah.
to be said, I was not looking forward to it. I was just kept thinking like
Really?
I've kept an eye on it on the list and just been like, and the thing is, you never
Oh,
know, right? I might watch it now and it just be like, oh, that's really lame.
yeah. I'm sure
And
it will be.
so yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence.
No, but I mean, I'm sure it won't be as like psychologically
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because
Yeah.
much older and wiser and more
Well, and yeah,
resilient
there's
now.
just
So
a horrific amount of like terrible news every which way you look. So you just sort of
this will be nothing.
accustomed to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
No,
believe we
but
didn't
that's the
know this.
thing,
We
like
could have been talking about this for the last 70 episodes. I'm like, oh, what? Are you going to
counting
be all
down
right?
one
Yeah, yeah.
closer to talented Mr. Ripley.
Have you got your little blanket ready?
I feel like I've got to watch it at night. I've got to be in the house by myself. They're gonna, oh no,
Yeah.
well
Oh
we'll
my
turn off.
God.
What am I saying?
Yeah.
We'll turn off all of the lights in the shop.
Mm.
We'll make sure
Yeah,
that the
wow.
shutters are down, get the spooky
Blimey.
atmosphere.
Blimey. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think about what not to give too much away, but which character do you think you? I know this is obviously part two. Just so that for me, which character do you think you would most be like? Which actor?
Well, hopefully none of them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna guess for you when I
Yeah,
watch it.
this will be this. I mean, I know what character you're
Yeah.
going to say you're like.
Uh,
Let's just leave it there. So,
Jude Law. Yeah.
even though before you start watching it.
Well, I had no idea what this was like. Do you think I'm gonna like this then?
Uh, yeah, I think if you go into it with the right mindset, then it is I
Mm.
remember it being really
I do
good.
like a thriller.
It's a really good thriller. Like there
Good
are just
cast.
I can imagine there's going to be a few bits where you're just like, whoa, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
like things
Okay.
come out of nowhere and stuff. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
I do think
Okay.
you're gonna like it more than the beach, I would say.
Yeah. 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 I think so. I think for some reason, knowing that you might not like it, it's going to make it more enjoyable for me. I don't know why I'm so sadistic, but
That's pure Jude Law in this movie. You're
oh,
just
okay,
getting
good.
more and more like it.
Oh, good times.
Yeah. There's so
Yeah.
many, again, because it's obviously from a book, there's so many great lines
Hmm.
in it. Yeah, like literally all of the actors are absolutely cooking. Like obviously,
Hmm.
like yeah, it's a great
Good
cast at the
cast, isn't it?
time on their way up, but
Hmm.
literally every single one of them is just is just definitely like playing it a 10 and is
Yeah. Okay.
amazing in it. Like Matt
It's good
Damon
when
is
you have.
like almost sort of unrecognizable from a lot of the other roles that he plays in it, just because of
Yeah.
kind of the type of person that he is. Jude Law.
Yeah.
This
I
is
think.
why people thought that Jude Law was going to be big. It was basically because of this
Okay.
film.
I
And
think he's a
obviously,
good
like
actor, isn't he?
yeah,
But
but like
just.
I think after this film, he kind of really like shied away from like the pretty
Mhm.
boy kind of like
Yeah.
just being the good looking guy, because I do think he
Mm.
wants to act. I do think he's an
Yeah.
actor, and obviously he does a lot of theater and stuff because of that.
Mm.
Um, and then Gwyneth Paltrow's
Mm.
really good in it. Like really good
Yeah.
for her role. And then Philip
Yeah.
Seymour Hoffman. Just the thing about Philip Seymour Hoffman is just like you never want to be his character, and they're always quite
Mm.
creepy and a
Mm.
little bit gross.
Yeah.
But he has so much confidence, and all of his characters have so much confidence in a way, even if they're like really like scumbags. They're scumbags with
Yeah.
so much confidence that you just can't help
Yeah.
but admire them.
Yeah.
And this role definitely speaks to that.
Has that
Um,
in.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Kate
These are.
Blanchett. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, they're rare to find these days, aren't they? Especially lucky for me that I hadn't seen it. To get these sort of, like you said, when you get so many good people together early, so it's like a rare thing,
yeah,
because normally you would never have this volume of good actors in one film. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it's like. It sounds like there'll be some very good acting scenes. So,
yeah.
well, look, I'm pumped to see it now, and like
Okay,
you're
right.
getting more scared. So,
Yeah.
it's like-
Yeah, let's.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, you go and get your popcorn. You settle down. I'll go into the
Yeah.
predictions room. We'll have. I'll have a think, and then
Wow.
yeah, we'll put it on, and I'll make sure that I've got my blanket to hide under. So Kev's going to go and set up the movie. I'm back in the predictions room. We've actually it's pretty dusty in here. We need to have a clean. What do I think Kev will think of this film? Well, I presumed that he had heard of it, but evidently not. I think he'll definitely think it's better than The Beach if he then goes and watches The Beach. I think he'll like this. I think this is like a psychological drama. Uh, Expectation setting is yeah, quite funny. I kind of gave away a few spoilers. Otherwise, the moment with Dickie and the oar would have really come out of nowhere. Um, but no, I think you'll like it. I think it is. I mean, I remember it, even though it was like 20 years ago. It's very spooky. The actors are all brilliant in it, and so I think as long as you like kind of psychological thrillers, you'll be fine. So yeah, we'll see after the jump.
Surprising or
Yeah.
devilish. Yeah, I think that.
I
Yeah.
really hoped you were going to say, just a rom-com, as expected, just the typical
And yeah,
romance.
it's just what I thought, just like the beach. Yeah. I think I must have confused this with the beach. I must have done and saw the trailers and thought, oh, that looks rubbish. I'm not watching that. Um, yeah, it was very good. Really enjoyed it. It was, I think, I mean, we've seen Damon in a couple of films now. I
Yeah,
think for me personally, this is by far his best performance
yeah,
in all the
yeah.
ones we've
The
seen.
the way that he goes between the like
Yeah,
the two characters, and
yeah,
especially like the I'm sure well, let's get into it now. Like Tom
yeah,
is just such a dweeb, first of all, and
yeah,
then is just like yeah, he's so yeah, he's just so clueless. He just doesn't have a clue about anything, and the way that he
yeah,
plays that, and then like yeah, sort of goes then into the smooth sort of his Dicky persona
yeah.
is just it's really well done. He really does do it well.
Yeah. And that's like when he starts off and they obviously they set up really nicely when he first meet him and they have the first lunch and he said, oh, what are the three, everyone should be good at one thing. What are you good at? And he
Yeah.
says, I'm impersonating people's signatures and whatever the third one was. And I was like, that's going to come up later. And then he does the impression of the dad and you're like, oh God, yeah, like it's almost like you're trying to work out, I guess, is Tom the character and the rest of it is actually the
Yeah,
real him or not? Like, which one's the persona? Because it's quite
yeah,
hard to tell. Because he's clearly
yeah.
intelligent, he knows what he's doing. He's like, and so he's like, yeah, is Tom just like, is he deliberately playing this guy like he is?
But that's it. I feel like I'm not sure that he does know what he's doing. That's
You
the
don't
thing. I think
think?
that's no, that's I think that's why for me it's you're
But he's
so
talented, isn't he? He's Mr. Ripley. He's so talented.
but like I think the only thing that he does that is like actually manipulative is to get Meredith and Marge to meet. The rest of it,
Yeah,
he just seems to be going on, and that's the thing. Like he goes so early on everything. Like he tells Dickie right away that he's there because his dad has sent him.
yeah. But do you
there's no
not
like
think that
covering it up.
he?
He's just like,
I
oh yeah, no, I'm here to take you home.
Yeah, yeah, you'll come home with. I feel though, do you not think that that's the first manipulation? Like he's done that because he knows that Dickie hates his dad and he was about to send him away, and he's like, "Oh, hold on a minute, now you've become a bit more interesting. So you were
Yeah.
supposed to be here to take me home." I don't know. I feel like he's doing it all. I feel like he is like. Are you just thinking, oh, I was just rooting for him, and he's not really a serial killer. He's just all right.
No,
He's not a bad
but
lad.
but that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why it's so good because it's not that you're
Mm.
rooting for him. Almost
But
I
you
can't.
kind of
I can't.
are.
Yeah,
I did put
exactly.
that
You,
down.
you can't really root for him just because he is so clueless. Like in the boat when he's like, "Well, you love me, but you're not marrying me," and then you just sort of see Dickie be like, "What?" like, and he's
But
like,
I
oh,
think
you know,
that's just because
we're
he's
brothers,
mad.
we're brothers, and like
Yeah.
that's and at that point, Vicky's a bit like, okay, this is a
Oh,
bit.
yeah. I'm on a boat. This is a problem.
I'm looking for
That's so
houses, although
interesting.
somehow I'm in the middle of the
Yeah.
ocean. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, that's the thing. So
Yeah.
I think because he yeah, because
Wow.
you don't sort of think that he's in charge of it all. Or I don't think that he's in
Yeah.
charge of it. And that's where you do actually not necessarily root for him, but you're like,
Yeah.
oh, Tom, like this is
Yeah.
just
Good old Tom.
this is
See,
getting
yeah.
ahead of yourself, even though you're murdering
I,
people.
yeah. I feel like he is. I like, maybe some of the murders weren't, well, definitely most of them aren't planned, but I feel
Mm.
like I don't know. I feel like he's in control. I feel like well, I don't know. Control is probably the wrong adjective. Um, but I don't know. I feel like he is, like, he knew that, what's his name? Who's Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, Freddie. He knew
Freddie.
Freddie was coming back. Like,
Yeah.
he knew that he was coming back, and he was
Well,
ready for him, and he was like,
because he stands outside and the housekeeper's like, oh, hi, Dickie. Like, don't go and stand outside, right? Just hide and
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it does. It did seem a bit strange. I mean, he had all the money then. Why would you stay in and around Italy where
yeah,
everyone else who knows who you are is there? There's so many countries you could have gone to. And he's
yeah.
like, yeah, I'll just stay on this one. But
Well, but
even when they were like,
he wants to be, but he wants to be Dickie, and he wants to be Dickie
yeah,
in that life, right? That's the thing. Like,
yeah,
yeah, so many times you're just like, just leave, just then, like, just
yeah, go to a different
now's the time.
country.
Just
Yeah,
ditch these people. You've got some
yeah,
money, like, just leave. And he doesn't
yeah.
even, like, right to the end, right, where you're like, well, but now
Oh,
you're with someone
that was
who,
so
like,
brutal at the
yeah,
end.
yeah, it is, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And we're just again like, what's his plan? Like, I almost get the feeling the boat's going
Yeah,
to dock and everyone's
yeah,
going to be dead, and he's going to be like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's just weird, isn't it? It's
Not
going to be
sure
like
what happened.
it's going to be like Cowie. It's just him in a bloodstained
Yeah,
bone. He's like, no, yeah, I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
because like,
Something
what happens when
happened.
they find Peter's body? What happens when they get to
Yeah,
passport control? What he just yeah, he just hasn't
yeah.
he just hasn't thought it through at all.
No, he definitely hasn't thought that one through. And I was thinking, of all the ones that you had, he's like, basically he's nearly home and dry, like you said, with
Yeah,
Jack
Peter.
Davenport's character,
Yeah,
Peter.
Peter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, it was working. It was not like it seemed to be
yeah, it's
okay. And
really
you thought,
nice. Yeah,
surely you just go and kill Meredith, wouldn't you? I mean, if he's she thinks you're Dickie, Dickie now is going to be dead. Just kill her off.
just give her an
You know.
elbow over the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're mad killing Peter off. That
yeah,
was very good. I loved the way that it was done as well, because obviously you didn't see it. You just, sort of saw
yeah,
his
yeah,
reflection, and then you kind of hear it over the top. And he's obviously sort of crying as he's like, I guess he's
yeah,
strangling him.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was really good. And that was a great end to the film as well, because you're like, how's it going to happen? Is he going to get away? Is he not going to get, like, what's going to, and it's
yeah.
just like, it's just ended. And you're right. Is the boat, does the boat sink? Does everyone get killed? Like,
And
what
especially,
happens?
I mean, it's so
Yeah.
sad because Peter is probably the only sympathetic
Mm.
character. I mean, all he's guilty of is
Mm.
completely ignoring his best friend when she tells him that she thinks that the person that he
Yeah.
fancies is going to kill
Yeah.
him, and he does actually
Yeah.
have a razor blade in his pocket, and
Yeah.
he kisses a woman in front of him, and then
Yeah.
accidentally says that his name's Dickie rather than Tom, even though one person has accused him of murdering
Hey,
Dickie. Like, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that
that's
he's
the only
ignored.
It's just love. You've seen enough rom-coms. It's just love is blind. Uh, yeah, you would be looking at going, there were a few hints. Yeah.
But that's
Just a couple
that's the
of
thing. Like,
hints.
all the way through. And yeah, we hadn't talked about him in the first half, but I think he also, yeah, like, again, like, because they just
Mm.
identify with each
So
other,
good.
obviously, like in the 50s, and yeah, just sort of
Yeah.
identify each other so early, and then they have really great chemistry as well, which I think is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like the chemistry between all of the cast. I love it when
Yeah.
Marge actually comes to Venice and sees Tom, and
Yeah.
she's just like, oh, you're here again. Like
Yeah,
you're here as
yeah,
well. Oh, I see you found Peter, and Peter's like, no, no,
yeah,
we found each other. But she's just like,
yeah.
oh, just don't talk to me. I
No,
just don't
no.
want to talk to you
Yeah,
at all. And it's so great. It's just so like the
yeah.
disdain is just dripping off of her.
Like she know, like she's obviously starting to think, ugh, all these bad things keep happening when he's around. But yeah, I
Yeah,
thought like I think Jack Davenport is great in this. Like he's
yeah,
really,
yeah. No,
really
he
good
is.
in this. He's almost and I was going to ask you about this because they're almost there because I obviously did expect Jude Law to be killed off. So because it's
Yeah,
actually reasonably
yes,
quickly once they
yeah,
meet,
yeah.
and
It's
you're
like
like,
first
oh,
half, isn't it?
okay. Yeah, and so they're almost they definitely develop the characters, but they're almost cameos, aren't they? There's almost a cameo from Jude Law, a cameo
Yeah,
from Philip Seymour Hoffman, and then
yeah,
obviously Jake Davenport as well. And I thought
yeah.
actually out of the
Yeah,
three of
and
them,
Kate
he
Blanchett as well.
almost
Like, isn't in it a lot, is she? Like, that's the thing. She's
yeah. Yeah, they're all like only like it all revolves around Damon, and I do think that definitely out of all the films I've seen of his, and definitely the ones on the list, I think this you're right. He plays that slightly like befuddled sort of person, and then slightly creepy
yeah.
serial killer really, really well. I don't know if that's good for Matt, but I know maybe he's just got a natural gift in that sort of side. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I didn't expect everyone to be getting killed off, and then obviously, yeah. So it's kind of like little cameos, and then even at the end, because I was thinking, could they have developed the characters? But you actually can't because you need to see how I guess like detached he is and how rational because he needs to keep killing all the characters, so
Yeah.
you can't expand their time. And then at the end, I forgot that because obviously the private investigator comes in and they start talking about the woman that Jude Law was sleeping with, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, and then she was pregnant. You're like, oh my god, yeah, I forgot he killed her as well. Like, blimey, there were so many deaths that I was just like, oh god, yeah, that happened as well.
It's
But
murder camp all over again. They're just
yeah,
accidents. They're just
mm.
no one's to
Yeah.
blame.
They did well as well, like with the oar, like when he gets hit with the oar. I thought it looked
Yeah.
very good. It looked like he had been
Yeah.
hit
Yeah.
by an oar, and it was just
Yeah.
like dashing out of his face, which was nice.
Was
Yeah,
that like a surprise? Like, because obviously it kind of not comes out of
I,
nowhere, but like I think for how
yeah,
bloody it is, and like then he's like strangling
yeah,
him, and like the blood's going on top
yeah.
of him and stuff. It is quite
It gets
it's
intimate, doesn't
visceral.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it is very visceral. I was watching it with a child nearby, so I was kind of trying to make sure a child
oh no.
was watching it at the same time. So I was like, "Are you definitely watching your screen?" Yeah, yeah, okay, good. I'll find out, I guess, in a few years whether that,
Yeah,
that was the
exactly.
truth. The psychiatrist bill. Um, but yeah, no, I must say, really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect what it was going to be like. Jude Law, I don't know if I've seen him in a film when he's been this young. He looked almost completely different, and he was
Mm,
very, very good as well. I thought him and Gwyneth Paltrow really
yeah.
good. Set the scene up so nicely. Um, yeah, I thought he was really good. Like he was, and he looked so different. I don't know. Have you
Did you
seen
think?
many?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
it
I've
looks
not
that.
seen
I mean,
him.
I think The Holiday is one of your favorite movies, right? So it's
I
it's
don't think I've seen
pretty
that.
similar.
Yeah, but no, I must say it was very good. I really did. And I did think. Have you seen the TV series You?
No, I haven't, but yeah, I know.
No.
Yeah, I know of it. So
Yeah, so that's about a serial killer, and that the main character who is in that they've set it up so you do kind of root for that person, even though he's killing people. And the guy he said at the end, I think he said, "I'm not doing it anymore because people are actually like." Almost like cheering him on in the streets, and he's like, I was playing a serial killer. Like, this is not healthy, guys." Um,
yeah,
so
sympathy for it. It's like Dexter and yeah, all of that.
yeah,
But again, like I think
yeah,
yeah,
Dexter's a good
not
one.
to spoil the algo, but like they maybe
Mm.
mention Hannibal Lecter, and again you're just like, but
Oh
I just don't get that Tom is like
no,
some master manipulator. I think he's like I just think
yeah,
he's pretty bad at everything. Like he's trying to like infiltrate and at the very beginning like be part of the world. He's been given
yeah,
$1,000, doesn't buy a second
yeah,
shirt. Like he's literally only
yeah.
got one shirt, and you're like he just doesn't. It's almost like that's the thing.
uh,
He's so kind of starstruck by the whole,
Yeah.
like the ease of the life of the rich people on the set, and like
Yeah.
the, you know, the sailing, the jazz clubs, and like, and that, like
Yeah.
that is what, and obviously what I remember, like just it
As a rich
seems,
person.
well, it's just, but it just
Yeah. That's what I remember
watch
in
it,
my youth. It was all
watch
sailboats and jazz
it.
clubs.
I
Where
would
did
like
the
to
money
say,
go, Andy?
not knowing how to ski or sail, I don't think should be a judgment of someone. I'm just going to put that out there. You know, you can still be a good
Uh,
person and not know how to
you're
ski
clearly
and sail,
not.
right?
You're not on the rich scale if that's how you think.
But no, like
Uh,
watching it as, yeah, like as a 20-year-old, and just that,
mm,
it's so attractive, isn't
yeah.
it? Like
Oh,
the life that they
yeah.
lead, they do
Yeah.
so well, because it's just like, oh
For
yeah, let's go here,
sure.
let's go there. Oh, okay, well we can do this, we can do that, and it
Yeah.
just seems so easy, and just so like,
Yeah.
and that's like Tom is completely just like, I didn't even know
Yeah.
that this
He'd won
life
it.
existed. And that's,
Yeah.
yeah, and like that, I think that's what they do so well, is just like, yeah, you know, yeah, I
Yeah.
just need to, you know, when he tells Dickie, like, it's a love affair with, I think he even says like a love affair with your life. It's almost,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't get it that it's that he's necessarily in love with Dickie as much as he wants to be Dickie. He wants that life. He wants to
Yeah.
be like, just,
Not with him, but be him.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
again, I think
I think
like
that's fair.
they do really well, to
Mm.
actually like, yeah, just he's so starstruck by it when he's called up
Yeah.
onto the stage to sing the song, and like Dickie, you
Yeah.
see sort of Dickie just sort of, yeah, like say to the guy like, oh, it'd be funny, like it'd be fun, and then when Tom goes up, he's just so like, oh, I've been invited,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
someone's wanted me there, and it just,
Yeah.
yeah, they just do it so well, where you can just see that he's just so happy to be there, and then he just doesn't want to give that up, right? And that is,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
But I
definitely
think
just so
that's
well done.
where, yeah, I think that's where the manipulation comes in, though, like the intelligence. Because, like, if you think at the start as well, when he meets the dad, and he's
Mm.
obviously puts a whole persona together, he builds a backstory when they're talking to him. He talks about loads of different things which come straight off the cuff. And then he's sitting there once his dad says, "Why don't you go and bring my son back?" He's sitting there listening to jazz, all that. Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
building it. So, like, yeah, I see what you mean. Like, it's almost like he's I don't know how do you explain it? It's almost like it's almost like Spectre Clouseau, maybe. Like he's halfway to being a great serial killer, but he's just not quite there.
He's just not got that final bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what, right at the beginning with his dad, I think is great, when he's just, when
Yeah.
he says, "Oh, you must have been with my son," and there's
Yeah.
literally, there's just a beat, and then he's just like, "Yeah, how is Dickie?" And like, and just the
Yeah.
fact that he doesn't sort of say, you know, and actually he does it with Marge as well.
Mm.
He doesn't lie unless he has to. He kind of, he holds it back so
Yeah.
that people build their own thing. When she's like, "I'm going to
Yeah.
go and confront him," he doesn't say anything, and then she's like, "Oh, but he doesn't like to be confronted," and he's like, "Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you know him best." And that's the thing, like, yeah, it's so well
Yeah.
written that,
Yeah.
yeah, like he
Yeah.
just, yeah, he sort of
I
doesn't
think he's
jump in.
so good in this. Yeah, like I'm surprised he didn't get an Oscar nomination for this. Like I feel like this, he's so, and like you're right, he's calm, his timing is perfect. Like it, yeah, and when he needs to be, he's sort of, and it's almost like he's killing them, but he doesn't want to kill them. But he's kind of he's in a like it's almost like something in his brain just sort of like breaks and snaps, and then he's like, oh no, I'm in this situation, I can't get found out. And to your point, this is such a good lifestyle, I can't give this up, so I might as well start killing people instead. And I think that's the thing with Peter, isn't it? Like you can see, like, oh, actually, it feels because he talks about the basement and the
Yeah,
basement
yeah,
being locked, all the dark secrets, and you're like, oh, he's starting to open up to this guy a bit, and you can see how
yeah.
they connected well. And then you're like, oh no, I can't believe he killed him.
But that's it. But
Like,
that's also like I think they do that with super well. That like in some ways
yeah,
he is actually quite honest throughout the entire thing, because even with Dickie, he sort of, he is almost, there's sort of another level and reading of it, that like he is actually lying less than Dickie is. because Dickie like
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
sort
He's
of
like,
you know, oh,
yeah,
I'm
to
a
Marge.
bohemian, I'm into jazz, I'm into like all these things, and he's sort of sat there
Yeah,
as on his trust fund, like doing none of
yeah.
those things. Like, does Dickie actually like jazz, or does he just like jazz because it annoys his dad? Like, I think,
Oh,
and that's kind of
I feel like you're
what he
glad that he's
says.
dead now. Like, yeah.
I mean, I
Is
don't
your
think
middle name
anyone's.
Tom?
I think that's the great thing. Everyone's like, I can see how someone like Dickie would get hit with an oar and
Yeah.
murdered. You
Well,
know,
and I
everyone would be
think,
like, I'm just surprised it was Tom and not someone else. But you know,
yeah.
I think you can see why it
No,
would
you're
happen.
right. Yeah, and I think you're right. They do that really well because they set it up so that you don't fall in love with the Jude Law character. You feel in love
Mm,
more with like the Tom Ripley. And so I think you're right. So when he, although it's shocking, you're kind of like, yeah, well, he's cheating on Marge and all this and that. But so yeah, I feel like you're right with that. It's
yeah.
interesting. There was a really good quote that he has, which you're right. I mean, does actually Dickie fall into this where he says, it's like all the rich people, or the people from is it Princeton that they talking about? Yeah, and he's
Mm.
saying it's the cream of America, rich and thick. And I thought that was a great lad. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and because that's the
yeah,
thing, because again, like they're all, it's the same as Meredith. Oh, you know, we're traveling here. Like I travel
yeah.
under a different name, but then they're all hanging out
Oh
with
my
each other.
God.
So they're actually like
Yeah,
they're trying to sort of get away, but like get away in a
they're
you know
not really. Yeah,
they're not
but
at
with
all.
lots of money.
And
Yeah,
even with Dickie, like, oh, I love Italy, and he's like, talks to all the locals, but then when the ambulance
yeah,
doesn't get there for an hour, then then he's like, oh, this country's just
yeah,
uncivilized and like, yeah, rubbish,
yeah,
and like gets angry, which obviously is because of the death,
yeah,
but like. He then criticizes Italy, even though he's like, oh,
yeah,
almost I'm Italian, like I know all the locals and stuff, but
yeah,
it's still like he's on
yeah.
holiday. It's not his life. He's just like
Well,
almost
he's
almost
still a
playing with
rich
it.
kid,
So
isn't he?
yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
he,
yeah,
I think there was so many lines that came through that were like unbelievable. There was a really good one. There was a long one. I know we're sort of moving on to lines now, and it said,
yeah. No.
"If you had money your entire life, you
Mm.
despise it, right? Agreed. The only true comfort around is other people who have it and also despise it." And you're just
Yeah,
like, "What are you talking about?"
yeah.
It's just bonkers. Only someone that had too much money could say something like that. It's just crazy.
It's just a trap, isn't it? Having more money, and everyone without more money is like, no,
Yeah.
no. Like, one, no, give it to me,
I can
and
have
we'll
some
give it
more.
a go.
Yeah. And I think they get that really right, don't they? With all of the characters that have all the money, they play it really well, but they're nice, but you're like, but they're slightly annoying as well.
Yeah.
And I think the writing is perfect for that because Freddie as well. You're like, oh, Freddie's pretty annoying. Maybe he should get killed. It's like,
Everybody knows
so
Freddie, but again,
yeah,
for him, I think he's just because again, like he completely just calls Tom straight away, doesn't he? Like that's
yeah, yeah.
like
You can
as his
see it.
character comes in, he is just like obviously Dickie's sort of
Yeah,
hanging out with Tom almost as a bit of a sort of curious, like like
yeah,
he obviously wants people he thinks that he's great around him.
yeah,
And then yeah, Freddie just comes in and is just like, no, this guy doesn't belong. Like he's nothing to do with us. He's and
yeah,
if Philip Seymour Hoffman's just brilliant in it because it just like he is attractive and you can see like why people would be attracted to him because he's just like a force of nature and just like
yeah,
yeah, sort of
yeah,
comes in, but then is like the bit where he confronts him with the piano and he's just like hitting the
yeah,
key is just
yeah,
so good and just like this when he's just looking at him and he's hitting the key and again funnily enough that was something like when he's hitting the key and then he stops he like moves away from the piano but then the score still has that like that piano key being hit
yeah.
in the
Just holding
background
it.
is yeah it's just so
Yeah,
the music in this and the score in this is just
yeah,
so good like all of the
yeah.
music just kind of interplays with it.
Was anyone those were the deep fakes? Is anyone that you thought I didn't think anyone for me could do any of these roles. Like I didn't
I
think
think
it would make it better.
would you? I'd maybe go all of that. You know what? If you've got Keanu as Tom Gosling and Stone
knows
as
everything.
Dickie and Marge, and Swayze as Freddie. I'm watching that. I'm going to watch that deepfake. I just think it's.
I don't know, because you think that Tom's not got intelligence. I was thinking, the only one would be Swayze potentially as Tom, but you'd have Keanu.
Yeah, you think?
I don't know,
Because Keanu does the like dumb, the dumb, not quite there.
Yeah.
Right? He could just, it'd almost like
I
be.
don't know if he's got
be
the
Ted and then
Yeah.
and then Neo as the two sides of it, right? So,
yeah. Just don't know. I don't know if he's got the sort of death side where you're like, it's like a cold killer. I don't know if he could do that. I don't think Gosling. I'm not sure if it would be the same. I think Damon's better than Swayze, maybe. But I honestly thought they were all really good. And when you think that they're actually all like reasonably young in this, it was very impressive that they're all so good in this. I was very impressed. Which character did you have then? Freddie for you?
I mean, I too play the saxophone when I'm sad, but I was trying to remember. There was a film where someone plays a musical instrument when they're angry, and we made a comment on it in the list, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was.
Is it The Visitor? I think it's honestly, even though this ridiculous film gets brought up every week, I think it is The Visitor, isn't it?
He goes and plays the drums. You're just obsessed with that film. That film is like your Dickie.
You are setting me up.
Your Tom.
You got all these random questions like, oh yeah, do you remember then someone used to like? We mentioned it on one of the pods. Do you remember which one it was? I was like, unbelievable. I think it was that one though, right? When he played the drums.
No, I didn't think it was drums. I thought it was something else, and it's just so funny because you're just like, why would you go and play a musical instrument when you're angry? But no, I mean, I don't identify with exactly. Yeah, listen, I mean, my read of the film was basically that Tom kills him because Dickie's going to give up the saxophone and take up the drums, and he's just like, that's going to be really annoying. I better kill you now.
No one wants that. Why would you ruin the saxophone and go to the drums?
There's no one that I identify with.
No?
Are you staying with Dickie? Obviously that's what you said before you'd seen it.
I really say, yeah. No, I'd put probably Damon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
just don't ask
creepy.
me too many questions.
What have you got in your pocket? Why is it bleeding?
Yeah. What did you say about them, Andy? I agree. I totally agree.
This is recorded. Well, I wanted, funnily enough, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is the Dickie and Tom breakup worse than any of your breakups? Or do you think you've had a breakup?
Well, I've not killed anyone, so I guess, that is probably
gets pretty tense. So
yeah, I guess if you're going to top trumpet, though, I mean, you're in Italy on a boat. That's pretty good. But then you do die. That's pretty bad. So swings and roundabouts.
I wondered whether, do you think that Meredith has slept with Freddie because she's like, oh, you're friends with Freddie Miles. Everybody knows Freddie, and you're just like, do they now, Meredith? And I think that even with Cate Blanchett and with Meredith, I think what she does really well is you can see that she really wants to like be in love with someone like Dickie. She's kind of got almost a longing to to have that, and to she seems quite lonely, and she's which is a great performance because she's not in it very much at all, but you really get this sense of like especially when she's then with Marge, she's kind of like, oh, that explains it all, and she's sort of like, do I say anything, do I not say anything? And like she just she again, and even on the boat, like I've been thinking about you so much. Yeah, and you just that's the thing, you're just like to someone who has been accused of murder and everyone is saying has murdered and then has committed suicide, like it's like it just plays on what everyone like wants, and I think they all play that so well. Because again, even
Yeah.
with Freddie, like, yeah, he wants to be with Dickie, and he hates it when he gets
Yeah.
sidelined as well, because he's like
Yeah.
plays the confidence and the kind of the cockiness and stuff, but then actually,
Yeah.
yeah, he gets really upset then when, yeah,
Yeah.
when Dickie's not paying him attention, even though obviously he's dead. So
He's yeah,
there's a
he's
reason.
like, there is a little reason. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. I mean, even Kate Blanchett, you're right. I forget you meet her so early on, and you think, oh, these two will obviously meet again. Because they have a really good scene. They build the scene really well, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you just got to forget that she's in the film because
Yeah,
everything else suddenly is moving along. You're like, oh my god, what's happening now? And then
yeah,
yeah, she comes back into it, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, I forgot that she was
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so you're
even
right.
then,
She
like
does very well.
super early, he introduces himself
Mm.
as Dickie, and you're a bit like, what?
Yeah.
Like what? That's a bit weird. But
Yeah.
then it comes back and actually, yeah, like almost,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it
why.
does work out for him and stuff, right? So,
Yeah.
and I think you especially see it in the opera scene where he's like flitting
Yeah.
back and forth from being Tom and from being Dickie, right? And he just
Yeah.
does it so well to, yeah, like,
I know.
yeah.
I don't know how he does it. I'd be like panicking so much, going, "Oh my god, someone's going to find me out. This is a nightmare." Whereas he's just sort of like, he's a bit stressed, but he's like, "Yeah, keep talking to you." Whereas you just be like, "Sorry, I feel like well, I've got to leave immediately," and he's like, "No, no, I'm just going to keep this going on."
Yeah,
So there was some,
manages to play it off. And
yeah,
obviously is a
so
Christmas
tight.
movie. So it's this should
Yes.
go on to our Christmas movie list.
Yeah, we'll do a special on it in December. Yeah. There were some really good lines in this. Are there any good ones that you enjoyed?
Yeah, I love the when he's learning Italian, one of the lines is "This is my face," and I'm just like, why
Yeah.
would you ever need that in Italian? It was a bit like when I was learning Mandarin and Duolingo,
Yeah.
when they got me to learn "I am not a teacher," and again, I'm like, that's super specific. I'm not sure
Yeah.
why I'd ever
Is that
need
going to
to
be
know that.
helpful? It's like learning like when modern languages in the UK when you like I learned like to order like a kilo of apples. Like when am I going to need to order a
It's
kilo
gonna
of
be
apples?
a big pie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the like the not humble brag, but like humble insult where Dickie says,
Mm.
"Oh, without your glasses, you're not even ugly." He's just
Yeah.
like, so wait, what? Like with my glasses, I'm ugly. Like,
Yeah. He delivers that
um,
line so well, doesn't
yeah,
he?
yeah. And then he
Uh,
says, "Oh, I don't need them because I don't read." And that, again, like that kind of goes back to just, yeah, like he
yeah.
types his letters because he can't spell and
Yeah.
he's stupid. Basically,
Yeah.
any line by Philip Seymour Hoffman, I'd love to know
Mm.
what the script is. It all
Yeah.
feels, and I think this is what he does in every film. Basically, is like it just seems like he ad libs everything, and like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like he just delivers it so smoothly. I think when he turns up and he says, I mean, if I'm late, think what her husband is saying. Like that is
Yeah.
actually, I think that's like a funnier line than obviously the one before,
Yeah.
which is the often quoted one about the women. The bit where how's the peeping? Tell me, how's the
Yeah.
peeping?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. It's
And he
just
waits
so
just the
well
right
delivered.
time. Doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's like you're like he's gonna say it now. No, he's gonna, and he's just watching him, and then Tom's watching them, and then he just delivers it like completely
yeah,
cold. Does he?
yeah. And
I
then
feel
it's
like he
it's
always
just
plays.
in his
Go on.
own head. He's just like then Tommy.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just
yeah.
like it's
Just
yeah.
there all the time. Yeah. Does he always play? I feel like I only have ever seen him playing evil characters. Does he?
He's
Like,
always
has he ever played like happy people?
no, I don't think they're ever happy. He's always just off to
Hmm.
one side though, isn't he? That's the thing. He's got
Yeah.
that thing where he's like yeah, not it's always sort of someone that just makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. Like even if it is the
Yeah.
main character,
Yeah.
he kind of keeps you off balance
Yeah.
because you're just like, is he like is he cool or
Yeah.
is he just super creepy or is he weird or is
Yeah.
it? And that's the thing. He's just he's so good that like a character actor doesn't even do him justice. Like he just brings something. I
Yeah.
was watching Hard Eight yesterday, which is
Oh
Paul
yeah.
Thomas Anderson's first film, and he's literally in it for like 3 minutes, and he just completely like it just explodes on the screen. You're just like, whoa, who's that guy?
Who's
And
that guy?
like so good, so good.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? And he's just like delivers everything so well. Yeah. Any
Yeah.
other lines?
Yeah, so I think along with the cream thing, they had tasted everything and have no taste. I think that's a great line. When the police when the policeman's interviewing them, and he says, "So you're homosexual?" Oh, that's an interesting note for quieter, just like out of the blue, and just the fact that he's like, I've got a fiance, Dickie's got a fiance, Freddie's got lots of fiancés, and then the policeman's like, so many fiancés.
Yeah, that's crazy because he's obviously he's starting to panic, isn't he? Because he's like, oh my God, the detective is coming from Rome. I thought it would be someone here. And
but they sacked the guy in Rome because he got away. And then I do think it's funny when he says, "Don't you just take the pass and put it in a room in a basement and lock the door and never go in there? That's what I do." And again, Peter should be like, "No, I don't think that's what I do." But he obviously,
love is blind.
He's falling in love. And that's again a super sweet. But then when he gives him the key to the apartment and he says, "Oh, your key," and that's like a callback to it. It's so sweet. Poor old Peter.
Yeah,
I would definitely have killed Meredith.
Sure. And it's easy, right? Because you don't have to pretend to be Dickie, who's already dead.
You're actually going to be able to get through passport control in Greece.
Whereas this time,
that was. I mean, again, I think that's. No, not wanting to correct his serial killerness because obviously it's not a good look. But like, surely take the passport. Surely take the passport with him, like leaving the passport
in case he needs
because that. Well, but that also makes it seem like maybe Dickie's committed suicide, or maybe he's just left Italy, and like then when it because otherwise now when someone hears that Dickie was seen in Greece, people would be like, well, how did he get to Greece if he doesn't have his passport? So I would have taken the passport. I mean, he takes the rings, which is obviously
the rings is a nightmare.
He shouldn't just have them out.
I mean, that he's going to take them because they do that very nicely throughout the film. They reference the ring near the start. He looks at the ring constantly. So and to your point, it's like that is almost like personifies exactly the persona of who he wants to be. And so that's kind of why he does it, because obviously everyone else is thinking, why would you take them? He's like, he's clearly not rational. He's killing people. That's why he's taking them.
And the ring just is so intertwined with Dickie's sort of identity that can he play Dickie without the ring is
that's true.
Like almost the question I'd say. Did you
have
any others?
I mean, there was a few random ones in there. I liked the one at the start when he meets them and they're sunbathing and they talk to Matt Damon, and we'll all appreciate this as English people with pasty skin. And he's talking to him. He's like, "You're so white. You're unbelievably white." And he's like, "Yeah, it's an undercoat, like a primer."
It's a great line. It's a great line. And lovely the Marge actually like laughs at it, and that like helps him. Helps in a bit. I thought it's also funny when she says, "Oh, he was telling me a story and I laughed so much I almost got a nosebleed." And then Dickie's like, "Is that a good thing?" And you just see her like be like, "Sharp." Like, what? Don't make me look bad. But,
And that comes back, isn't it? So the whole thing of Dickie is kind of the good guy-ish, but you kind of don't like him, and so you're almost like, it's all right that he's dead. It's kind of all right. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's that fine line, and like you said, like Dexter, all those shows, it's that. He's bad, but is he too bad? He's all right. He's killing bad people. It's all right. Was there any lines that you had for the podcast?
The only one I could think of was such low class. Does this guy know anything? I'm not sure who that's aimed at. It's one of us,
but probably both of us. I had the when they're on the boat and it's finally coming to fruition, and Tom's talking, and Dickie just goes, "Boring." Boring. And I just thought that came to mind.
72 episodes in. Boring, 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 boring.
Yeah. And this week we're doing boring. Oh dear! I'll see if I can bring it in at any point. Just to,
we can put it in. So
Yeah,
you know what? No 3-star reviews. Like there were a couple of
wow.
there
Well,
were
there
a
you
couple of
go.
3 stars, but there was
Okay.
no writing under them. In actual fact,
There we go.
very few written reviews for this film at all. There's a lot of, I think
Hmm.
there's like 300 reviews, and there's like
Yeah.
4 or 5 5-star
Yeah.
reviews that have something written under it, and one 1-star
Yeah.
review that said the DVD was damaged. But apart from that, yeah, people
So
just they didn't write about this at all. Didn't explain themselves.
I mean, should we be worried then that that's mainly serial killers and going, yeah, this film is great. It's so accurate, but I can't write a review about it.
No one
'cause I'll
wanted to
get
give
found
themselves
out.
away.
Yeah.
Just I like the landscape. I like Italy in the 50s.
You guys got it right. You guys got it nailed on. Exactly right. 5 stars, but no comments.
Yeah, but yeah, we're
Well,
not
there we go
going
then.
to say anything.
On to the double feature then.
Yeah, so I thought it depends on sort of what weekend you go. I wondered about the other guys, just as a way to like lighten the mood
Just a bit
afterwards.
of,
And another classic, you know, lots of great cameos, lots of great side characters,
true.
and a really great romance at the heart of it. Or you go the other way and you pair it with American Psycho, and you're in it for 4 hours.
Just go
you just live it.
Yeah, I had that for my algo, but yeah, I had the same as you. I thought I might need to go a bit lighter. Same sort of ish, well, similar elements to the film as well. But yeah, I went for Catch Me If You Can, even though it's got Hanks in. But
yeah. No, that's a good one.
That could be nice. A bit
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah. Okay, and then you kind of have everyone, right? You have Damon, you have Leo, you have Jude Law. Nice.
Yeah, they're all
nice.
all the gang.
So what did you have for the algo? Where did you go?
Well, I went single white female. That was one of the first things I thought of. I was like, this feels very similar to that. Pacific Heights. Have you seen that film with Michael Keaton in? It's an old film.
No, I don't think so, actually.
Oh, you should watch that. It's a really good one. It's very similar to this. I think it's a married couple that buy like their dream home, but they can't afford to keep it because I think one of them loses their job, and then so they take on like a lodger who is Michael Keaton. The rest I'll leave you to watch. And then American Psycho.
I think I was thinking of the robot one, but I think that's
Pacific Rim. Yeah.
It's like, that wasn't very similar to this, but if you
that's a bit different. Yeah, I mean some comedy. And then American Psycho and Dead Calm. They were my selections.
Nice. Yeah, no, the algo completely. They just didn't understand this film at all. First of all, they went for Match Point, which is just
that's the one
bizarre
with
the Woody Allen one, and
Oh, I don't know.
There's a lot of Hitchcock. So they did Strangers on Train, which was actually written by the same person, like back in the day.
Okay.
And Vertigo, Vanilla Sky, Hannibal.
No.
Yeah, they just
didn't.
They just didn't understand this film at all. So this is, I think that, I mean, much like you coming into it, right, where you just thought it was a nice romance.
Yeah.
The algo just doesn't. This is honestly, I think this is the type of film where the algo is never going to work. Like it's probably never going to spit out this film. And it is a really, really great film. It's so well made. Music's really good. Yeah.
Excellent. Another point to make.
I'm not going to watch it ever again.
Yeah. Well, that's right. This was only your was it your second time of watching it?
Yeah. And I remembered pretty much like all of it. It just, honestly, it's still. I mean, there's a lot less.
I could watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot less spooky than the first time I watched it, has to be said. But
Yeah,
as I said, because it really stayed with me the first time. But
yeah,
like
yeah.
now, it's almost. I
It's
think it
dark.
is almost a bit. I find it a lot funnier because again, like with
Yeah.
Tom, you're just like, oh, Tom, like just don't, just don't do that, or just don't tell Dickie this stuff because he's just going to torture you with it in the future, and
Oh God,
he's so
yeah.
eager to please, and you're just like,
Oh,
oh, Tommy,
when he's
Tommy,
dancing
Tommy,
around
Tommy,
in the
Tommy.
room in the shirt, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, this isn't gonna go
yeah.
well.
I just and again, like
Cringe.
just the vulnerability where he's just like, don't tell Freddie, please don't tell Freddie. Like, and
Yeah,
that's the
and
thing.
you
Like,
know he's gonna.
yeah, he's just so embarrassed. And then I did, funny,
Mm,
we did say in the lines, I love the fact that he's like, I want this job of yours. You stay in
yeah,
Italy, you
yeah,
sleep in Dickie's
yeah,
house, you eat his food, you wear his clothes. If you ever get bored,
yeah,
you just let me know. I'll do
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'll come in. This sounds great. Yeah, that was a good line. He definitely got him summed up completely, hasn't he, in that sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So number 28, where's it going on the list?
Yeah, so I think it's going to shuffle back just a little bit. Just on I think
Okay.
on maybe on the rewatchability, but I have it at 31 now, so just the other side of
Yeah. Okay.
Ikaru, which I did also think would be a good double feature. Although yeah, it's very different. I
Dark.
think it's you know what I think it's really evocative of the time in
Mm.
1999. I think even with the algo, if you think about sort of the types of films that were out in 99, like Donnie Darko and Fight Club and even American
Yeah.
Beauty, I think it was at a point in time, which was the same for me, kind of being a university and thinking about going into work, where you are
Yeah.
just really thinking about like yeah, like what is the
Killing people.
character you're going to be killing rich people.
Yeah.
No, where you think about like, yeah, who am
Yeah.
I, and like who am I going to be,
Yeah.
because all of a sudden you're not around people that you've been around like all through school, and you start to like
Yeah.
meet strangers that don't know you and don't have that reference point. And I think in 99 especially, a lot of films like were actually sort of exploring that of like, yeah, who's real
Yeah.
and who's authentic and who's pretending and stuff like
Mm.
that as well. So yeah, I do, it is a real kind of moment in time for me that, yeah, like
Yeah.
I think I will always remember it, and will always just be like, yeah, that first watch where it freaked me out, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Well,
deserves
just
there. But
remember 1999 Andy, he's locked in the basement. He's in there, locked, the key swallowed. He's gone.
just with all the dead bodies.
Yeah. We don't need to
and
remember the darkness.
and a jazz CD, just thrown in there.
Just why not?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, just at the, because I think when I was looking at the list, Children of Men,
Yeah.
in the 20s, and Spy Game, I
Yeah.
still do really
Still
like. But
prefer them.
yeah. So just to 31. So how about you
Fair
then? It
enough.
sounded like it's yeah, like again, like one of the
Big
ones you
one.
haven't seen, and yeah, you really liked it.
Well, yeah, it's been I was just having a look at the top 10. There's another, yeah, it's a good one that I haven't seen before that's come in. So yeah, I've got it in as number 7. So
Yeah.
just below Crazy Stupid Love and just above Groundhog Day. So yeah, I did really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good, all well acted, very well written. Although everything about it was really, really good. Really, really enjoyed that film. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
nice. That's
Yeah,
yeah, and top 10 is now 5 not seen,
yeah,
5 seen. So yeah, no, it's
yeah.
awesome.
There you
Well,
go.
that's great. Well, yeah, thanks. Well, we can do next week's quote, which is another one I believe that you haven't seen. So the quote
Yeah.
isn't going to help you, but it's just in an argument, in a family argument, which you can guess is, "You're always thinking, you thinker." Just watch out
Yeah,
for it. It'll
nice.
be good.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Thanks to Tom Miller for the theme song as ever. I think we're gonna close up the shop now and just go out into the sunshine a bit and enjoy a little bit of uncomplicated sunshine. So we'll
Yeah.
see you next week.